Okay, this is your buddy Jim, and this is Slop in the Shop. Another one of them update blogs that I do as I have interesting content. It used to be a weekly thing, but it doesn't quite pan out like that anymore. This vlog's going to be probably more, this slop's going to be probably more of a racing tool-oriented slop. I actually had in my mind putting some projects in them, but they've actually made their own life for a change. So what I decided to do on this Sunday morning is to walk out to the shop, do some updates, kind of where the race shop's at, updates on sheet metal tires, just the stuff that my viewers who are not in this area, not involved in the racing, may find fascinating, and you may not. You know, it's not my goal to change the channel as much as it's a vlog. So please bear with me if you don't like the content. Just stop the video and go on, wait till you find something you like. Because, you know, I just like to do this different stuff to show it. A lot of the sheet metal stuff was inspired by a comment I got from a good friend, Everett Falk in Canada, about the sheet metal, and I thought I'd just go in a little more detail. Just to make something, just to basically, if somebody else may have the same question, just don't put it in the comments. So, especially for my viewers that's not in the Southeast United States, that's not familiar with, you know, maybe the only dirt track stuff they see is a picture of a sprint car or a picture of a late model or something like that, that sometimes props up, you know, on TV. So there's a lot more to it. This is what a lot of local, this is your neighbors and your local friends. So that's why I put a little bit of that in. Especially for my viewers that's not in the Southeast, especially not even in the United States. They're not familiar with this stuff at all. I mean, racing's all over the world, but it's different. So for my friends in Australia, my Canadian friends and stuff like that, my UK friends, I thought I'd put it on out there. Just something interesting to kind of get this different content. So, you know, if you like it, fine. If you don't, well, just stop the video and go somewhere else. We'll put something on there maybe you like better. I'm the same way with the people I follow. I mean, this is not meaning to be flippant, but if I see content from a subscriber that doesn't interest me, then I don't want to sit and watch it. I don't expect no less out of you. So, no further ado, let's get into this Slop in the Shop this week and let you get some views of what we're doing and see what you think about it. And have a great day. Hey folks, this is in the house. Amazon guy has come, and I got me some new wrenches, hand wrenches for my automotive shop. My good friend, one of our helps us with the race car a lot financially and space, is Howard Helton, professional mechanic. He runs a shop here locally. And his personal box, we've worked some out of it. He got a set of these ratcheting box wrenches from Gear Wrench. And these things are awesome. They just come today from Amazon. I mean, they're just really nice. So I thought I'd put that in this week's slot. By the way, I got a race car in the shop. This one isn't mine. We're still waiting on my car. This is my friend. Everybody knows that Justin Truitt drives for me. This is Justin's dad's car. He picked it up from another racer, and it was in a different class, and he's converted to run it in our class. So we're going to be racing it some. In fact, this Friday night this is Friday. We're going to be taking it down. It's ran one race, and it was over at local track, and we beat it up a little bit. So we beat it out. Typical race car fashion. Now look, I mean, we went ahead, you know, our sponsors kind of help us, these folks, we put their names on this car, even though it's more out of, you know, most of this is out of Justin's dad's pocket here. And this will probably be like a Saturday night car or something when we all said and done. So the shop's sort of full. I got race car parts scattered everywhere. But I got another piece of news I'm going to throw in my slot this week. I had an accident too here recently. We was actually going to go racing, and we had that blue car on the trailer, and we come up in town and people will stop the stoplight, and I started stopping in the trailer. Between the road being damp and greasy and the trailer, the truck started skidding. I made an evasive maneuver, caught a guide wire and a light pole, and this all was done here, but the light guide wire, the steering, and this was actually a top of a utility pole, and it done this. I'm still waiting on the insurance adjuster, and this is a Friday when I'm shooting this. This happened on Saturday. It'll be a week Saturday. So that's where we at on all this. So I thought I'd throw that in. We're going to take some sheet metal to a local racing auction. I'm going to go in, put this camera up. It's a pretty day here in North Carolina. We're going to go racing this evening, so I guess I better get my stuff together. All right, I'm going to redo this. This is my drawer. I will cut these off and use this. So this is where I've done temporarily. I may modify this because this set's only going to go so big, and that way I can move this drawer around and use it for others, get some other stuff in it. This is just my first run with that. So I moved some stuff around in the box. So. And by the way, this is my box. It is a Harbor Freight. For a hobbyist, it's really a good deal. My advice to anyone, and I'll make this short and sweet. My advice to anyone is, if you're like me and a hobbyist, you're working on a race car, you're working on a hot rod, or you're working on something in your home all the time, you can't beat one of these boxes for the price and the quality of the box. It's hard to beat them. I mean, but now here's the truth. You can buy yours Craftsman, or you can buy from Lowe's. You can buy a Cobalt from Lowe's or a Husky from Home Depot for about the same money. And truthfully, I wouldn't turn my hand over for the difference. Now, if any of my viewers are professional technicians, or you seriously want that quality snap-on box, save your nickels up and buy them off a marketplace if you can. I see them on marketplace here all the time for half what the box goes for. My friend that we work out of his shop a lot, he bought his son, who went out to be a tech, after he got out of trade school, a complete snap-on box and hutch, and I think he said it was about $8,000 for that box. And his son's joined the Air Force, and that's stored in his shop. So you can buy the boxes for a lot less if you just look around the marketplace. So if you want that snap-on box, that'd be my advice, folks. Okay, let me quit ranting about toolboxes, and let's move on. All right. There's all these things you find that you've got to do, and this is just one of them. My tire buffing stand, and this is again another series of videos that I've done in the past. Basically, when I first put this thing together, this engine stand was a gift from a friend of mine, and I took this engine stand and just built everything around it. One of the problems I started running into, let me get over here is where it's bolted, all this has loose motion. It was designed to be taken apart and stored. Well, we use this thing about every week, sanding, cleaning tires. I may go into, I've done it in the past, but I may even go into that in another segment of this particular slop, actually. So I got out the welder and I welded up where all the bolt joints is to stiffen it up. Now, my welds ain't the greatest in the world. I'm still learning how to be a better welder. If I was going to do fab work, then I've actually entertained this thought. Maybe taking a class or something, or just get some steel and sit down and practice and get better. I just don't do enough of it. That's kind of the thing. So here it is. I just want to throw this out there as a clip. This is my race car automotive shop. And right now it's in a state of uproar. There's parts and pieces that's every darn where. These two tires are my friends, they're spares. Chairs for the racetrack. Batteries out of my race car. I'm old school. People tell me you can set a battery on concrete. I don't. I've got gauge panels sitting on my roll around box right there. I've got spare parts for a new race car whenever it gets here, scattered all over. I've got more spare parts, weight, spare wheels, generator sitting on this buggy so we can unload it and load it. I mean, I just, you know, and if you look on my pegboard behind here, there's hoses and all kind of crap hung up. Same thing on this side. So I got a little bit of this, I'm not going to say disorder, a mess. But part of the problem is we're waiting to get this chassis back. When the car is to be fixed, it'll obviously be done somewhere else. So, but that's going to segue into another segment. Okay, I'm going to do something different in this slop. I'm going to bury this in it. So most of my people that watch my slop that race in the area that we live in basically in the greater Charlotte, North Carolina area where we're from. There's a lot of dirt tracks here, a lot of racing goes on. And we've talked about the race car a lot. So some of my slops, I'm going to put little pieces and tidbits in. So this is a tidbit. This is one of the tires. This is actually it's going to be used as a spare that come off my race car. And if you'll notice, it's a Hoosier. It's an asphalt tire that's been rethreaded. You'll notice right in here, I don't know if the camera will bring the details, but you can see with the rethread. And there's a yellow dot on it. That's a directional. These yellow dots have to be placed on the tire in a certain direction. Actually, the way they're supposed to be, assuming I've got the tire turned this way, and my toolbox, which you can't see, this may be over on this side. Let me step over around the camera behind it. So this would be on the side of the car that always faces the grandstand. There's a little bit of camber built into these tires. Now after they run a while, the edges wear away. Now what the machine's for is we take a belt sander and I run over these tires, and what that does is takes a slight layer of the rubber off, makes it fresher, makes it a little more pliable, makes it bite better, and then we wrap it in plastic. You know, we're not allowed to do anything, well, I'll use some terms. We're not allowed to go into these tires and take a heated knife and cut extra grooves in them. We're not allowed to cut what they call sipes, which would be straight cuts or something like that, small straight cuts across them. We're not allowed to do a lot to this tire. And the reason for this, in the division we race in, is keep the cost down. This tire, brand new, depending on which seller you buy it from here locally, these are recapped in Kannapolis, North Carolina. And you might have heard of Kannapolis if you race fan, hometown of Dale Earnhardt. But there's a company there called Towel City Rethreading. They have been rethreading racing tires for years, probably 40, 50. And that's who supplies these tires. And they're very economical to run because you can run these tires. If you're a weekly racer, you can almost get a full season out of them. And they're, depending again on the vendor you buy it from, it's between $80 and $85 a tire. You can't even buy a street tire for $80 to $85 a piece of a decent size. So this is a very affordable thing, and I just wanted to throw it out there. There's a couple other things I want to put in this video. Just for my viewers, maybe, like I said, I've got viewers in the UK, I've got viewers in Australia, And maybe this will get kind of grasp of what's going on in Canada. This is kind of where the grasp of this comes from. So here's the tire we race. This is just a typical one. I just happen to have it dismounted. And then they go on steel wheels, whatever. So there it is. Okay, I'm going to do this again for folks who are not from this area. Everett Falk of Everett's Workshop made a comment about one of my slops, about where I hung sheet metal on the building. This is the rear fender off of my race car that we towed, and it's been stripped off. Theoretically, we could put this back on the body, but to show you what it is, it's a sheet of aluminum. And I want you to appreciate the handiwork that my friend Tug Truitt does. Now, what we do, this starts out as a flat sheet. And this actually he uses a 6-foot metal brake. And they bend this thing. First of all, they bend it. I'll turn it over. I'll show you where you can see this. There's a little lip. Let me see if I can get closer to the camera. There's a little lip right here. This is bent into it. And then they bend this, which attaches to the top. Then they come down here and pick a line. This fender's been bent. It's hard to see. You probably better see back here. You can see this brake line where my finger's running up and down it right here. This goes all the way up and down the whole body. This gives this thing a shape that resembles a streetcar. It's all done on a metal brake. Then the wheel wells are cut out. And if you'll notice on this, I'll bring it up close. You see this little lip right here that protects the tire. Remember the sheet metal tools that I made in video a while back? That's what we use this for. Now, they make other tools that you can do this, but by using my little pull boy tool, these are just bent over and tapped with a hammer. And then on the bottom of this fender, there's a piece of plastic skirting. This is used on a late model type car. And you buy it by about $30-something for a 8-foot long sheet piece of it formed, and you fasten this to the fender to give you a shape on the bottom. This supposedly catches air when the car turns. And by using this instead of bending a piece of trim, this is a lot more sturdier. Now, the outside of this fender, I'll bring you back and we'll do another segment. Okay, now here's my trailer. You've seen this in a previous video. And I think I explained that I bought this at a supplier, and these suppliers actually have a scratch and dent sale. What it is, these have got little dents and stuff in them. And racers are funny people. They're going to tire a car all to heck, but they don't want a dent in their metal. Well, some don't. We bought it because we knew good and well what can happen to it. So, just to show you, this is a sheet of the material right here. You see, just a plain aluminum. This is a half sheet, by the way. And that's what we use it for. It will be eventually the body shape of the race car. So, that's how most of the body, and I'll point some other stuff out to you. The reason I broke this up into segments is this is not a paint job. This is vinyl, just like any other vinyl. I know you see a lot of vehicles on the street, companies have them wrapped. Basically what happens here with this is, in this case, a local gentleman by the name of Randy Powell does sign business. He actually sells graphics just like other people, and his graphics are actually, he even sells them online, but he's about 15 minutes away, so he'll do these bodies for us. Now what this is, this white here, is a sheet of vinyl that is going to be attached to cars. They call it a wrap. And he's got a machine that prints. So you've got these different colors, like here, where my friend Truett, Tug Truett, who builds our bodies, that's why I got this fender up, by the way, is you see how the white, the outline of the blue and the black, this is printed on this vinyl. Now the gold is trimmed out separate out of a sheet of vinyl and applied on top of it here and here. But this, like our friend Howard Helton's logo, this, take the gold away, is all printed and put straight on the car, and then the gold trim's added later. It really makes a real standout job there. But again, that's why these cars look the way they do. I think I've showed you in the past, but I'm going to walk you out here in segment 3 and show you my pallet again. I apologize. Let me get up here a little closer. Maybe I can get a better look. There we go. Apologize, I don't have a new nose to show you. Hadn't bought it yet. These noses are a reproduction of a Monte Carlo Aero coupe. It's made by a company called 5 Star or MD3. It's plastic. And this one is the one that was on the wrecked car. Kind of worse for the wear. And if you'll see up over here on this side, there's the other mangled aluminum fender. Again, you can't really tell a lot about it. But hey, that's what we've got. Probably what's going to happen with this is this will all be thrown in the trash. Eventually I'll clean it up and get rid of it. I just haven't had the time. I've actually still got last year's nose. This is the back side of it. The fenders are almost in better shape. Again, we're just going to clean them up and get rid of them. And then around the building, you see I've got other parts of the car. This actually was two. This is another fender, just like the one I took inside to show you. And right here is the passenger side door of the car. The driver's side, Justin's taken it, put it up in their shop. Last year's door, not the one on my building, I took it and donated it to the racetrack for auction. And I may give him a couple more pieces of sheet metal here, so they'll probably have another auction. Okay, now we tend to run tail sections. Some places they just take a piece of sheet metal and box it in, but this is a tail section here. So that's the way it is. Everybody's got their own different opinion, and you know, they always say about what opinions are like. I might even take that other fender and put it on the back of the shop, because you know how I like stuff hanging outside. So in case you don't wonder. Okay, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I've reshot this dang closing 3 times. The reason being is I got so much to say, but I don't want to stand here and yammer on. So we're going to cut it short and sweet. This video is a little different in the slop because I wanted to show something different to a different segment of my viewers. And that is important to me. I'm not saying I want to please everybody, but I get a question or a comment, it gives me an idea of our video. Here's what I want to tell you. If you like what you see, subscribe. If you've got something to say, make a comment, positive or negative. Just be respectful. That's all I ask. If you disagree, please state your disagreement. Don't just call somebody a poop head and go on. So with all that being said, we appreciate all that. If you like my varied content, subscribe. If you don't want to subscribe but stop by, that's fine. YouTube is not a money maker for me. YouTube won't even my earnings on YouTube won't even buy hardly one race tire or a tool holder for the shop. I mean, when you're at this level on YouTube, the money's not there. You just got to love to do it. You got to love to stand in front of this camera and talk and make a fool of yourself, and you got to enjoy the hobby and the time it takes to do the YouTube alone. Now, I try to simplify my videos. I will tell you that much. But still, the people that don't have the big bases put in the work, but folks is underappreciated of it. So with all that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Hope you like and subscribe. Hit the bell. Make your comments. And just hang in there that I put another slop out. We'll try to do something a little different. So with all that being said, folks, have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video.